Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to Closet Movie Rambles, where I talk about old movies that I found in my closet while cleaning. This week's movie is Bamse and the City of Thieves. It's about 1 hour and 2 minutes long, and it's a Swedish cartoon about a strong bear that likes honey. So the movie starts in a forest, panning to Bamse's house where he and his family, or his kids, is about to go to school. And it ends with Bamse and his friend, a little rabbit called Little Skutt. It's kind of funny with Swedish names, how to explain it. The Little Hopper, I guess, is a good translation. They're going to town and they introduce one of the old bad guys that turned nice. So he's called Varg, or Vargen. He's basically a wolf, so yeah, whatever. And basically due to the invention of the super honey that his grandma makes, that Bamse's grandma makes, there's no crime in the city. So that's the thing. So they're about to celebrate their friend called Skalman, which is basically a turtle and an inventor. And they go to visit him to plan up the party, I guess, and he shows him up one of his inventions, which is these kind of creepy binoculars that make you see pretty much anywhere in any place at any time, which is like an anomaly in itself. So then cutting to the main guy, bad guy called Rainer. He's a wolf, and he's gathering all the bad guys to talk about the good old days when they used to do bad stuff, which is kind of funny because due to Bamse's super honey that his grandma makes, as I said before, there's no crime in this perfect state. So the robbers, or the bad guys, come up with a plan to rob the candy train, which will arrive in 2 days. Meanwhile, Bamse saves a school bus full of children. They're about to careen off a cliff. Superhero, super bear, I guess. And then the bad guys' plans are also to kidnap Bamse's grandma, because without the grandma there will be no super honey. So Bamse, he talks to all his friends because, to find where grandma is. But they go around town looking for her, and also go to this suspected Rainer to find out if he's done it, but they leave empty-handed. So the next day, the bad guys hijack the candy train, and Skalman the turtle uses his binoculars to locate where grandma is, and she's on the train. So they know that the train is heading for Thieves Town. But the thieves, in order to get to Thieves Town, they need to go through the Troll Forest, which is a rather funny scene. So the bad guys just burst through the Troll's Gate, and it's the first time you hear the Wilhelm scream, which is in the Star Wars and in many other movies. It's a royalty-free scream, which if you search or Google it, you know exactly what it is. So Grandma has 2 pets that live in her house, and they found the last jar of the super honey and try to bring it to Bamse, and basically they get help from Bamse's daughter as well to get there. So one of the more funnier thing is that the bad guys, once they reach the town of thieves, they decide to go back to town and just steal stuff again, because now they're fully blown thieves and they are not bakers and gardeners as peaceful as they were before. I probably should have said that, but so there's like a bunch of things that happens, but Bamse is forced to run with his friends, the little rabbit and the turtle, from some trolls, because they're into like the troll forests, and they fall like down like a waterfall, and they use Skalman as a boat. So the funny thing about Skalman is that he has like a watch on his person. So it has like this thing where certain times of the day he falls asleep, or he needs to eat or whatever. So when the bell or like the clock just chimes, it's time to sleep. So he just falls asleep, which is kind of funny, and he's unconscious throughout this whole boat ride, or where they use him as a ride to basically get to Thieves Town. So the good guys finally gets to Thieves Town, and they get captured by the bad guys, and there's like a musical number, but they get reunited with grandma again, and then Rainer forces Bamse's grandma to make some super honey for Rainer as well. But the tricky part about the honey is the only one who can really drink it without getting a stomach ache is Bamse, but apparently if you make it backwards, it's it has the same effect. So I probably should have explained what the super honey does. I haven't done that at all. So the super honey gives you superhuman strength. That's why Bamsi could save the bus in the first place, and that's what happened. Reynard gets like the backwards super honey, and he gets super strong. But in return, Bamsi's daughter shows up with the last can of the regular super honey. She drinks it as well and gives some to Bamsi, and that scares Reynard off into the wilds. So the bad guys and everyone is forgiven, and somewhere out through this story, the Vargan, he gets his redemption, and everything's good. The party for the Turtle Skullman happens, and everybody's happy. And meanwhile, Reynard is trapped with the trolls. So that's pretty much the end of this animated movie. So what do I think about Bamsi and the City of Thieves? It's a good movie. It's very well drawn. If you compare it to the original that I saw when I was a kid, it was so cheaply made and not very well drawn. This is actually surprisingly good. It has a lot of nice still frames that reminds me of the Swedish kind of countryside and forests and these kind of old dense forests, if that makes sense. So I feel right at home with this movie. I was pleasantly surprised for the quality, even though it's like a children's cartoon. And one of the other cool things, the voice actor that actually plays Reynard, he has a similar personality to the Joker, the Mark Hamill Joker, and his voice is even similar, even if the what do you call it, like the dubbing or the voiceovers are made in Swedish. It's kind of like he portrays this psychopath just like the Joker. He has like a similar voice to the Joker, and manipulating people and twisting their words and whatnot, just like the Joker would do. You're not really sure about his agenda. You just want to do bad things and want to see the world burn, just like the Joker. And I think that the voice actor was Magnus Härenstam, if I remember that correctly. May him rest in peace. It's a very good voice acting on his part. So I don't think I can recommend this movie, but it's a must for the kids, I guess. I think it's dubbed in English. I think it is, but yeah. So anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.